How you guys doing? Eric here. Today is Tuesday, December 19th, 2017. 2 more days till the winter solstice. Maybe most of the religions of the world, including Christianity, are based on sun worship, which I totally believe. I think Jesus Christ represents sun. He's just, just the Son of God, right? The cross represents the 4 seasons. And right now is when the solstice is when the Son of God died on the cross. And then he was dead for 3 days and he came back to life. He rose from the dead, basically. I think that's where it all came from. Interesting. I mean, a lot of people believe this. I didn't make it up. I remember recently I made a video and I was talking about how I went down to Boulder to talk to this psychotherapist about doing some work on his house. And yeah, I went down there and he didn't answer his door. And apparently he was in there passed out asleep and he totally stood me up on our fucking appointment. Yeah. Well, anyways, he called me back on Sunday. He asked me if I'd come down and talk about it again. I was like, fuck. I really need some work right now. So I was like, man, I might as well just go down there and give him one more chance. So I went down there yesterday and talked to him. And man, this guy is fucked up, man. First of all, his house is just in fucking shambles, man. It's a real piece of crap, man. And he's thinking that he can throw some band-aids on the house, fix up some window dressing and shit and get a lot more money for it, Basically, he's in trouble, man. And he's telling me all this fucking problems that he's got, and how his mortgage is getting ready to quadruple and by like March, and he really wants to get the thing done and sold in February and all this work. And man, I just don't know if I want to fucking deal with it, man. I think it's something that I really shouldn't get involved with, man. But on the other hand, it's hard to say no, but I don't think I'm gonna get involved with it. But it's kind of interesting because this fucking psychotherapist, he is one of the craziest fucking people I've met in a long time. I mean, this guy is just, this guy's off, I think he's off his fucking rocker, seriously. He's got some really weird mental issues going on, man. He's a victim of his own medication, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, he's like, he's sitting there talking to me, and he's just trying to put all this fucking pressure on me, man. Like, I don't know, man. I need the money, but I think if I get involved with it, it's gonna be a regret. He's trying to get me, like, he's seeing if I could work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day to get it done for him. I was like, well, I told him I could only work 4 days a week because I got the job at the liquor store I got to do, and that's my number one priority, really. I can survive without his job. I can survive a lot better if I could do it, but I don't know, man. I think the guy's insane. Then I got home last night, and I went shopping, bought a bunch of groceries because I was down in Boulder. I got home and he calls me up, and then he gives me the spiel, the sob story about how he got into the position where he's at. I guess, he's a psychotherapist, and like, he's telling me he used to do a lot of work, at like nursing homes and stuff, old folks homes, and he would counsel and give therapy to the old people that are dying and shit, and he said he was trying to help them. He was really doing his best to try and basically going against the system, right? And so, how I always talk about how the whole system is just a fucking corruption, and it's all about getting people hooked on drugs and shit. And he said he didn't want to do it. He was really trying to help. He was going against the system, and so he ended up losing his license to practice, and that's how he got where he is now. So yeah, he lost his license, and now he can no longer practice his psychotherapy. So I found that. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get involved with it. The guy's just a fucking train wreck. His house is a train wreck. I think he's doomed to fail, man. I think he should really just cut his losses and say things, because he had realtors come and look at his house, and he said, you know, the condition it's in, he's not going to get as much money as he wants for it. So that's what he's doing. He's thinking he can fucking throw some lipstick on the pig and maybe make a few $100,000 extra dollars, you know, because the real estate market in Vegas is, I mean, not Vegas, but in Boulder is pretty hot, and it's one of the most expensive places to live in America. But his house is fucked. It's old, in an old part of town, and yeah, shit. I feel sorry for the guy, but I don't think I'm gonna get involved with it, man. Also, thought I would talk a little bit more about the Mesa, Arizona cop shooting, where the cop was recently acquitted for murder of an unarmed civilian in a hotel room, in a hotel hallway. A few more little follow-up on that story. Well, you know, a lot of people are talking about how, you know, Philip Brailsford is the guy's name, the officer who did the shooting, but you know how he got away with murder and all this, but not many people are talking about the sergeant that was there. Who I think the sergeant, in my opinion, is even more guilty than Brailsford, who pulled the trigger, because the sergeant is the one that escalated the whole thing, was barking the orders out. He was the true fucking psycho there, man, who was like, you know, it just seemed to me like he was purposely fucking, you know, escalating the situation to end in the murder of this fucking guy. I really believe that. That's, if you look at it, you can just see it. It's like, yeah, we got this fucker. We got him in a really shit fucking position. Now, all I gotta do is fucking confuse the situation enough and this fucker's dead. So yeah, man, I really think this fucker, Sergeant Langley, is his name. It's important that we know these fuckers' names, that we put a name with the face and the fucking deed. Sergeant fucking Langley, he's the one, man, that, you know, playing this fucking deadly fucking game of Simon Says, where he's barking out all these fucking contradictory fucking commands at this guy, you know, purposely trying to get him to make a mistake. If you make another mistake, you will most likely not survive the situation. It was like, you know, he purposely fucking confused the situation to the point where the guy was just, he didn't know what the fuck to do, you know? He kept telling him, keep your hands up, put your hands behind your head, interlace your hands, interlace your fingers, keep your legs crossed, now crawl, you know? It's like, do the crawl of death down the hallway. Do not question me or you will be shot. It was unbelievable. It was like, it was worse than a drill sergeant at the fucking Marine Corps boot camp, you know? And so yeah, I think this fucking turd Langley, everybody needs to know his name. He is just as guilty, if not more, than fucking Philip Brailsford, who pulled the trigger. But you know, it's important that we know their names, and we pray that they never have another moment's peace in their fucking lives, that they fucking dwell in madness for all eternity. You know, that's what I got to say for those two. I really do, man. But I don't doubt it'll happen. Langley still has his job. Fucking Brailsford, all he did was he got acquitted and lost his job, and I bet you he's already got another job at another police force. So yeah, they both got away with murder. And another thing, this fucking Brailsford on his AR-15, on the dust cover, he had it embroidered saying, "You're fucked." There's the words "you're fucked" on the side of his fucking gun, man, in bold letters, man. That just shows the mindset right there, right? I'm sure all of his cop buddies thought that was the coolest fucking thing, you know. He'd probably go, when he got it done, probably took it in there to the fucking, show it off to all of his cop buddies. Oh man, that's so cool. I gotta get mine done like that too. You're fucked. Yeah, you know, maybe they should just, in my opinion, if I was in charge of the world, I'd fucking have every fucking Mesa, Arizona cop car take off to serve and protect on the side of their car and put "you're fucked." That'll be their official fucking logo. You're fucked. Maybe every police force in America, "you're fucked" on the side of their car. You know, that's the fucking, the total mentality of these fucking psychopath fucking killers. Yeah, man, this fucking Sergeant Langley fuck, you know, he clearly showed to me this fucking God complex that these fucking police officers show, man, when they're dealing with people that, you know, like, do as I say or fucking die. Comply or die, motherfucker. That's what that was exactly the fucking perfect example of what it was all about, man. You know, he's like, we're not here to negotiate with you, do what I say. You know, he was barking illegal commands at the guy, and if he didn't do exactly what he said, he was dead. That to me is a fucking God complex, man. You know, he could have been more calm. He could have fucking calmly handled the situation, and it didn't have to end the way it did. Yep, I bet you that fucking Sergeant Langley had a fucking boner the whole time through the whole situation, and then fucking busted a nut when the shots went off, man. Yep, pretty disgusting thing to say, but I bet you that's what happened. Well, yeah, another couple interesting points about the Mesa, Arizona shooting was the fact that he had "you're fucked" on the side of his gun in bold letters. Was the judge said that wasn't admissible in court because it was too prejudicial, so the judge wouldn't allow the jury to hear that, and also the judge would not allow the jury to look at the video. So yeah, there you go. That's how our fucking system works, right? All the really fucking damning evidence is not allowed. But if it was a regular person like us on trial, you better believe all that fucking evidence would have been allowed. So yeah, it's a double standard, and our system is fucked. Our kangaroo courts are a joke. Yep, I think that's why they allowed the video to come out after the trial, for the world to see, to, you know, just to fucking create more hatred and rage and keep this fucking bullshit war going between the people and the police in this country, man. That's why they released the video, to really keep that rage alive, man. After the trial, after the guy was acquitted, you know. So fucking evil what's going on in America today. Yep, if I was king of the world, Sergeant Langley would be placed in a fucking cage, naked, and put on display for the whole public to fucking crucify. If I was king of the world.